Hi, my name's Jonathan Black, and thanks for joining me once again. Today I want to talk about a topic that everyone experiences on a regular basis, and that's one of time management. In reality, time management doesn't actually exist. Time management is really about self-management. It's about the decisions that we make as to how we apportion our day, how we plan our day, how productive we are in our day, giving ourselves permission in our day to do the things that may not appear productive to others, but for us is actually still valuable. And that actually may be stuff, for example, like sleeping, eating, spending time with friends that may not be economically productive, but it nurtures ourselves in some particular way. So I just want to cover off with you 3 key tips that I often give to people to help them explore and use their time in a way that they find is more fulfilling for themselves and helps them work on their own best day rather than somebody else's. Number 1, and this is probably the most important one, is actually to have an honest conversation with ourselves as to how we actually spend our time in our day, in our week, in our month. Now, some would argue the old-fashioned way of doing this is to simply write down on a list on a piece of paper what do we do in our day. Others might choose to use a diary, an electronic diary. Others might choose to use a phone. Whatever it is, keep an accurate record of what you have done during the day, and then go back later on and look at actually how important was that to our achieving our goals, the goals that we've set this week, this month, this year, and also how urgent is it for us to do that particular activity right then and there. By doing that, then we get a good, accurate indicator of how we're actually spending our time. And if we don't undertake that kind of diagnostic process, then pretty much we're guessing, and it can be quite illuminating as well. The second key aspect is to master the 4 Ds. And the 4 Ds are really around decision making, it's around prioritisation. And the 4 Ds have been around for a long time, and basically they are do it, drop it, delegate it, or delay it. Do it, just get onto it. Simply make that phone call, get onto that report, put that structure in place, take the children somewhere or whatever. Drop it. Is it actually our responsibility to do this in the first place? What actually is our core business? What is our core function as a parent, as an employee, as a manager, as a leader, as a friend, as a colleague? What actually is our core business, and should we be actually doing this in the first place? Delegate it. Are we the best person to be doing this? Do we need to get on board a team? Do we need to make it very clear to others what our expectations happen to be? Do we need to give someone else a responsibility for this task? Generally speaking, others sometimes are in a better position or are simply more skilled and more knowledgeable to do the things that we've taken on board ourselves that actually in reality we may take longer to do and not simply do as good a job as someone else may be able to do. And when we look at it that way, it may not be as important that we actually tend to do it. It's the outcome that matters. The final tip I give to people, and I can give a lot of them, but the final tip is this. When we actually look at apportioning time in our day, we need to make sure that only 80% of the time in our day is actually allocated to certain tasks. Because rest assured, Murphy's Law will arrive with a blaze of raging trumpets. They are the emails that take longer to answer, the telephone calls that come, and the people we've got to get back to that kind of interrupt us and get into our day. They're the time wasters, the things that crop up in a day that we need to deal with. But to deal with them, we've got to sacrifice a task that we've already allocated. If we master the skill, and as a skill, because we've got to give ourselves permission to do this, of only allocating 80% of our time in a day, then we'll find that will give us sufficient wiggle room to be able to do, drop, delegate, or delay the key tasks that we need to do. So there we go, 3 simple tips. Thanks very much for listening. Take care.